with a PhD in management, an MBA, a postgraduate diploma in business management, an MCom, an LLB, an advanced certification from IIT Delhi. He combines excellence with practical industry insights, establishing himself as a thought leader. His career encompasses significant role with the global industry leaders such as FedEx, TNT India, the Bennett, and where okay, where he gained extensive experience in marketing and sales and the strategy formulations. Guided his entrepreneurial spirit, he founded PFL Express, an innovative logistics startup, and AVN Logistics Solutions, a leading firm specializing in international logistics, freight forwarding, and courier services. These ventures have solidified its reputation as a visionary in the logistic industry. He collaborates with premium academic institutions, business schools, and corporations as a mentor and educator, delivering academic programs, impactful lectures, webinars, MDPs. He is deeply committed to nurturing entrepreneurial talent and developing industrial aligned content to equip the professionals and students with particular skills and innovative mindsets. So we are honored by your presence and we look forward to gain from your vast knowledge and inspiring journey. We welcome you, sir. And now I would like to extend a warm welcome to Miss Ashi Verma. She is an articulate and vibrant public speaker with a strong academic and a corporate background. She is SRCC graduate and she blends with analytical insights with the flair for hosting high impact event across the institutions and other platforms. She led and facilitated 10 plus leadership talk sessions at Amazon's and praised for communications and engagement skills. Your presence adds a great strength to our event. We
Thank you
welcome
so
you,
much,
Ms.
ma'am.
Ashi.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you for having me.
So I again extend a warm welcome to our esteemed speaker, our faculty members, and the most importantly, all our participants. Your presence here reflects your commitment to learning and the personal growth. Let us make this 1 hour a very truly enriching experiences. So now I would like to hand over the session to Ms. Ashi Verma. Please take over the session and please
All
continue it.
right. Thank you so much, Mukta ma'am, for your kind introduction. A very good
Thank you.
evening to one and all who's present over here. It's truly an honor to be a part of such enriching initiative that's being taken up by your institution, especially during the Silver Jubilee year, a celebration of 25 glorious years of academic impact, innovation, and leadership. I'm truly grateful to your institution for having me here as the moderator for your session under the Leadership Development Program, the Corporate Mentor Series. We are privileged to have with us today, as already introduced by ma'am, Dr. Nitin Dewan sir, who brings with him not just years of experience, but also deep insights into corporate leadership and strategic thinking. It's going to be an interactive session, and I'll be curating certain key questions for Mr. Dewan, ensuring that we tap into his immense wisdom for the benefit of all the learners who are over here. So let's deep dive into this and make the most of this power pack session. So my first question to you, sir, is what actually inspired you for this entrepreneurial journey of yours?
First of all, thank you very much to everyone, and thank you for the warm welcome. I think I'll try my best to answer the best question because you are very articulate, and I'm sure I'll have a tough time answering some questions. But nonetheless, whatever I have as an experience, I'd like to share it with my audience. Yeah, so I'd like to start from the very beginning. I was growing up in a household which had a public service and government job people. It was the norm in the household, and stability, so to speak, was always a virtue. But even as a child, there was always a rebellious child growing up, thinking about is this what I'm going to do in my life ahead? But as the system is, as growing up in a conservative middle class family, you took up the job, did your basic education, and then worked for almost 11, 12 years before I deep dived into the field of entrepreneurship. So if I just have to see that of course, the immense value that my parents had in terms of what they were doing, but there was also something that I wanted to add to this, which was building something from the scratch. So the idea of international logistics pretty much fascinated me, and purely because of the fact that it had the elements of negotiation, time sensitivity, and trust. And that was the potential of bringing transparency and efficacy to something which is very almost riddled with opacity and informal practices. So my idea was that I could have done better, and that's one of the reasons that I got into it. And probably, if I just quickly wind up on this answer, uh, there's something that the passion which to start something new doesn't come as a lightning bolt. It always comes as a whisper, and I started to realize it day in and day out that there's something more that I want to do in my life. And I think that's how the whole journey kick-started. And here I am. It's been 20 years plus in the industry, and almost 14 years in my own entrepreneurial journey. God has been kind. I'm still sticking to this.
All right. Following up, the next question is, sir, how did you navigate the transition from corporate comforts to entrepreneurial challenges?
Okay, so as is the case with most of the people, it is very difficult to come out of the comfort zones, and it was always a very difficult decision. Probably, if I have to look at the components of it, financially, mentally, emotionally, more so when you're doing pretty well in the roles that were assigned to you at that point in time. I had a family at that point, and to start something from the scratch was something which was going to take some doing from my end. And more than that, the family, the folks back home, they also were of the view that once the thing is going well, why would you like to leave it and start something which is technically not known? What are the results? So that was a kind of a challenge. But if I had to just quickly put this in perspective, the transition has been very humbling. I knew very well from the very first day that there will be no big titles, there will be no team to delegate, there's nothing to fall back on, and the only thing that would be staying with me would be the fundamentals that I've been brought up with, and the certain things that I realized from the very first day in the work that I tried to begin was that there has to be clarity of communication. There has to be clarity on terms of the planning under uncertainty. There has to be financial discipline. So these were some of the skills that I thought would be very important and would be the tools for survival in the times to come. I would quickly like to share also. I remember the first day when I started my work. I had taken an office on rent, and that was something which I had already planned. So the first day I went right after leaving my previous organization, I remembered going into that office and realizing there's nothing that I had to do on that day. I had big dreams, but I thought, what have I done? The first day will be very challenging. So I think the best thing at that point in time, and I have no embarrassment in sharing this. Uh, I Before I called up anyone in my customer's office, I took up the broom and did the brooming for my office. I thought that was the best way to start the things, to get the things in order, the house in order before we actually reach out to people. I think that's the first thing that I did, and probably followed it for many, many months also thereafter, because it became a routine. And the idea was just keep on adding things every day. So things were not easy to begin with, but I'm sure with the right mindset, everyone, if they possess that, uh, there will be the times when comforts get traded for autonomy. And once I found meaning in what I was building, the challenges became the part of the journey. And that's how I probably navigated, still am. So that's how it is.
Thank you. Thank you for the insightful answer, sir. The third question is, tell us something about your business and the services that you offer.
Okay, so the services in the domain that I come from is purely international logistics and freight forwarding solutions. We are a setup which handles global logistics and freight forwarding. And specifically, we specialize in integrated distribution services. When I say integrated, we are talking about uh, services across all the modes of transportation which is available. We talk about air, we talk about ocean freight, we talk about multimodal transportation, and so on and so forth. Our core strength has been offering seamless and end-to-end supply chain solutions that combine technology, experience, and reliability. Uh, with a very strong network of our associates that we have been able to build in the key global markets, we cater to businesses of all sizes, from startups to established exporters. And our services fall in line with what I just explained a while back, that we have air and sea freight, we have custom brokerage solutions, we have documentation and compliance services, we have warehousing and inventory solutions, we have exhibition and event logistics, we have e-commerce logistics consulting. So that happens to be the part of the gamut which we are serving. And uh, we what is setting us apart from a lot of those other people in the industry is our agility. And I thought that we can serve clients who may not get priority from larger integrators like the DHLs and the FedEx of the world. So it will be good because we're able to find that gap in the market, that we can actually reach out to those customers with our personalized services. And of course, our competitive global reach that we've been able to build substantially over the period of time.
All right. Following up to the same question, sir, how did you get this idea or the concept for this business? What made you choose this type of venture?
Okay, this idea, I would not say it's a path-breaking idea, so to speak, because many people in this industry and many people over the years have done this business. They still are doing it, and there are a lot of people who are coming into these businesses. But I would say my foundational experience with the global logistics companies like the FedEx and TNT, where I had an opportunity to work, played a huge role in thinking about this as an industry that I would like to work. I had the chance to work with, I would say, highly organized frameworks who had great SOPs in place. They had huge operations in terms of the scale. But I was able to realize that there is a small and a recurring problem. A recurring problem is that a lot of the small and the mid-sized clients are either often underserved or ignored. That is something that I realized over the period of 7, 8 years working in that organization. And seeing this particular gap, I would say that I believe that there is a space for service that combined global standards with personalized delivery. Clients wanted a reliable partner, and I thought we would be the one who can offer them flexibility, transparency, support under one roof. And that's where I thought I could have positioned my business to begin with. I was not trying to outdo the bigger players. I still am not. And I just wanted to create a niche where quality, ethics, and relationship building mattered more than the sheer volume of business. That belief, I thought, was enough for me to look into this as an industry where I would like to work. And obviously, it became my anchor as well in times to come. So that's how I kickstarted the journey with the particular industry that I'm in today.
All right. So we by far have talked about your business and the services that you offer. So let's talk about the word entrepreneurship and the questions related to it. So regarding that, my next question to you, sir, is what is the hardest part of being an entrepreneur?
Uh, I'm sure that every entrepreneur who happens to begin work in their domain at any point in time, whatever phase of life they are, maybe if I go back 20 years and maybe even before that, and even today, when there is this so-called a startup culture, uh, I'm sure it's never gonna come easy. So that's one thing. So if you talk about hardest part of being an entrepreneur, entrepreneur in itself is a world trodden with a lot of hardships. It never comes easy. And to be on your own to begin with, and to do a lot of things which are or handle concerns which are overwhelmingly, at times they take a lot of toll on you as a person. So these in itself are one of the things that I would say the building blocks which create a issue, so to speak, with the entrepreneurs. The hardest part is not the failures, as I've realized. I think it's the weight of constant decision making, often in isolation. Because as an entrepreneur, invariably people tend to also connect it with a single person running the show. At times, self-employment also in today's time. So I think it's about taking those hard decisions, taking those tough decisions, and more so in a time when not many people are there to help you at that point. So there's no playbook, there's no guaranteed path, there's no set pattern. You have to navigate ambiguity, you have to manage people, you have to have control on the finances, the expectations, more so to speak, of family, of friends, of people around, of your own expectations that also weigh you down from time to time. So if I just look at that, yes, these were the challenges which probably are, so to speak, the mental blockades. But also, I think I learned this somewhere and I heard from many people, those learned people in the industry. It's very difficult to buy honesty. You can pay as much to get a highly skilled person, but where is how you want to buy an honesty part or the honesty part in that particular person? It's very difficult to do that. And that is something which is a challenge with any organization, to have good people, but to have honest people on the board is something that really makes a difference as far as the organizational culture and organizational result orientation is concerned. So there were phases. I would like to tell you that nothing seems to move forward. And there's something which is like a complete lull before the storm, as we call it. I remember days when just a personal anecdote also. When I started, and I used to handle a lot of those publishers. So there was people or publishers who were forwarding their books to Amazon across the world, and I thought I would be also able to offer them those services. So I remember when I had started, and even a few years into the work, it was a challenge. And I remember driving almost 100, kilometers on one fine day when I don't have too many resources, didn't have too many resources on board to pick up a package, then to get it connected and to ensure that everything's in place. Now, if I just look at that, I probably would have spent money from my pocket to get that thing going. So those challenges to begin with, to work on your savings, you don't have that easy money because the rotation of money takes time in the business. So it was really very hard. But if I just have to talk about the hard part, it'll become very demotivating sometimes for a lot of those young listeners. So I would also tell you that it's not as hard always if you have the right mindset and if you know how to recalibrate, how to reflect, and how to work upon the things that are actually bogging you down at that point in time. Maybe even short breaks that really help you to reset. And that actually then gives you a new and as we say, a vigor to take it forward in that light. And one philosophical line which I would also like to tell you, uh, we have to understand that loneliness here is absolutely real. It's killing sometimes. And but if you have the vision, the pressure, the responsibility, you will be able to handle it. You will be able to build emotional resilience over a period of time. And I think that is very important for all those people who are thinking of starting up in today's cutthroat world and a competitive world. So that's how I would like to put the journey, the hard times of my entrepreneurship.
All right. So my next question to you, sir, is, which is rather a very important one. How did you uphold ethics amidst the business adversities, especially when we live in such a competitive world where everybody is just, striving to be the best? So ethics generally tend to take a back seat. So how do you move forward with integrity along with doing your business?
Okay, uh, that's an easy one and simultaneously a hard one to answer. But uh, there is one thing that I've been brought up very clearly with, uh, to uphold the highest level of ethics. And I have had harped upon that in every session, every lecture, anywhere I go, everywhere I go. I always talk about this. If you have that morality, if you have those ethics, it will always make you stand out of the crowd, because that's one thing that's really missing these days. I'm not saying that I don't have people who have ethics, but we find this as a virtue which is not we don't find in too much in people these days. But if I just have to talk about ethics in terms of my business adversities, it was very clear that uh, and I like to share this. My father, when I started this entrepreneurship, he told me one thing, coming from a government service background, that Nitin, if you really want to start something, please ensure one thing, that the associates, the vendors, the people whom you have to make the payment of, uh, they should be taken care. And if you are not wanting to do that, I would suggest very strongly that you should not start this particular journey of yours. If you can uphold the highest level of ethics, you will be able to do this business well. There will be challenges, of course, but you will be able to sail through. So if I just have to talk about the business adversities in the industry are no different from the other industries or companies or setups. We had delayed payments from the customers, unethical propositions, which have become a norm from a lot of those customers. And I remember one of the times my customer told me that, can't you import this for me? There was a product he was talking about, and he was talking about a phone at that point. And I remember 2013, 14, he told me, let's get the iPhones imported. So I said, okay, how would you like to work on that? He said, there's a way that we can get that, and there's huge money which is available. I think I was very, very clear. I told him one thing. I said, anything which is coming into the country or going out of the country without the permission of the customs, it's actually called as smuggling. So I'm not going to get involved in something which is maybe glorified and fascinated, in terms of the people. But I thought, let's not do it at any point in time. Let's uphold the highest level of ethics. Let's not get into something which is going to disturb our sleeps over times to come. Our family is related. There's so many stakeholders in the business. We'll never like to do that. And I think the challenge was very clear, that if we survive, very good, but we have to survive with the highest level of morality. Being honest to our work, being honest to our vendors, being honest to our stakeholders, come what may. There will be challenges, but I will not like to binge from that. Either uh, there's a choice. Either you compromise or you stay silent or take a stand. So it's sometimes about taking a stand. I remember a couple of times when I mentioned about not doing a particular business. I also remember once that this is something which happened, and a lot of those associates of mine told me I was not built for a particular shipment, and that shipment was around 1.5 lakh rupees then. So I didn't get the invoice for that, and I had an understanding that this particular thing was to be built to us. So I reached out to the associate of mine. I told him that, have you thought of giving me a freebie this time in terms of not billing me, or is this something that you have just forgotten to do? So he told me, yeah, that was something as an oversight, and we got billed for that. So it would have been easy for me, isn't it, to leave that at 1.5 lakh rupees and stay happy. But that is not something that I would like to boast of. I'm very happy I'm sharing this with you. We have got financial hits as much as the businesses do, but losing a few deals by sticking to your ethics, you ultimately gain trust of your stakeholders. You gain trust of people who are working with you. You can be tempted to bend the rules, but that doesn't work. So I would say that trust is our most valuable currency. And ethics isn't about grand statements, it's about daily choices, doing what's right when no one else is watching. Over the time, these choices compound into reputation. And I think God has been very, very kind that we have been able to build an iota of that as much in those many years. Yeah.
All right. Very well explained, sir. So my next question to you is, how do you set your businesses apart from others in the industry?
Uh, okay. The differentiation is very difficult, so to speak, in this particular industry. There are many people who are doing the same business, very similar kind of business, and there have been people who've been doing this for a long, long time. And if you ask me, you talk about startups and talk about technology, I don't think that we have a host lot of things to boast of. Uh, we have we are working in a simple service provide as a simple service provider. We buy services from someone, we give it to someone else. So if you talk about the novelty part, the novelty doesn't exist. But the very basic idea, as I also explained earlier, it was about reaching out to those people who were not being reached out by the bigger players and who were tend to be ignored. So I think important part here was combining my domain knowledge, my team's knowledge with consistent execution. We stay close to our customers. We understand the pain points. We offer them end-to-end solutions from pickup to delivery with complete visibility. Speed, as I said earlier as well, speed and reliability happens to be critical in logistics. We have been able to build systems to complement that. But wherever we are not able to, we also talk about the human accountability, which the client also remembers. So the business is now driven more by uh, referrals and less by marketing. And that speaks about the value that we have been able to deliver in this particular business. So business pretty much the same. I would say typical brick and mortar solutions, but just the engagement part, the differentiation happens only in terms of the service offerings that we have at this point in time. And I tend to stay with that because I think that is something that is going to sustain even in the time when technology takes over. So that human interface would become very, very important. It has always been important. So that happens to be the differentiating factor at this point in time.
All right. So my next question to you is, sir, can you share a difficult moment in your startup journey and how you overcome that?
There are, I'm sure that entrepreneurs will face quite a few in terms of the difficult moments in their journeys. And I was no oblivious to such challenges in my life either. But if I have to admit in front of many people who are listening to me this today, is that internally it is about self-doubt sometimes. I told you about the first day, you tend to lose count of what exactly is happening around you. It is overwhelming. So it is always the self-doubt. Then externally, if I just come and talk about these factors, it is about not having the systems which are not technically built to support unconventional paths. So I think that I've been able to find few answers to that because I was able to find people who believed in me when I couldn't. I read stories of underdogs, and I showed up when I was afraid also. But these resilient journey or resilient steps that I was able to take in this journey actually helped me solidify my structure in an organization, also the reputation of an organization. Uh, if I talk about one of the overwhelming concerns that I had was when the first firm that we started was the co-founder. So we worked for 3 years, and little did I realize that there was the carpet being slipped under my feet. So I didn't realize it, and I think that is something that I got to learn from those instances. He defaulted on a joint commitment. I was financially and operationally exposed. Uh, of course, it shook my confidence, and I had to start again after 3 years of consistent work. We started as a bootstrapped organization. We took the organization to around 4.5, 5 crores of annual turnover, which was okay. I would say we never realized that we'll ever reach that number, but the first 3 years were very rewarding. But as I said, in the same light, in the same breath, there's that challenge where I was actually exposed financially was something which I couldn't get over for a long, long time. But I would also like to say in the same breath that instead of reacting emotionally over a period of time, uh, I tried focusing on recovery. I called up the clients personally at that point in time, renegotiated certain deals, certain timelines, communicated transparently with the stakeholders, also reviewed a lot of those partnerships which were structured at that point in time. So the importance that I can talk about in today's situation out of that particular situation was that uh, importance of due diligence and the value of direct customer relationships in any business would be very, very important. Never lose count of the customers whom you are dealing with. Yeah, you should always stay in touch. And I think that's one thing which people tend to forget sometimes. Once they get to a particular level, they tend to lose the count of the roots that they were brought out of. So don't repeat that kind of a mistake anywhere for any entrepreneur. So I think those were the tough times that I faced. Fortunately, with this family support system, I was able to come over that and came back strong. And of course, we recovered and did well again. So those instances happen to entrepreneurs all across. Happened with
All
me as
right.
well. Yeah.
So, sir, following up your explanation, there has been a question that's being put up by Avinash to you.
Okay.
that
Okay.
India aiming to achieve $5 trillion economy, what sectors do you believe offer the highest entrepreneurial potential, especially for the young entrepreneurs?
Okay, it's a very interesting question. You are going to test me on how the direction of foreign trade and how what are those options available. But coming from the experience that I have, uh, I would always tend to talk about logistics as one area which has been doing very well. Because why I speak about this is because anything and everything has to move on or through logistics. Even during the tough times of COVID, if you would have realized, the only network, the only sector, the only industry which was operative in its full avatar was logistics. And if you talk about the kind of growth that we are envisaging in terms of industry, we are looking at almost $12 trillion in terms of the overall potential of this particular industry in next maybe couple of years' time. So if you look at that, there is a huge potential in terms of logistics as a service in terms of the business. If we talk about in specific product, I think you have to center your journey around uh, the kind of tools that are available with you. So if I may ask you or give you a small example, let's say I'm dealing as a publisher or sending my books outside or exporting my books outside. I can be the best publisher. I could have the best of the books. I could have the best of the buyers, but I ultimately have to fight with the logistics costs which are going up. Okay, and ultimately I have to utilize logistics now. The business that you're going to make is going to be made on a lot of those components. So if you have a strong logistics, if you have a strong buyer, if you have a strong relationship, you'll be able to bring out a value proposition which sticks in the market, which will do well for yourself as well. So talk about industry, I think don't look at very fancy elements at this point in time. Try to look at those small and niche areas where you have found a gap. Wherever you are able to find a small gap, try to bridge that. And that's where your mojo lies. That's where the thing lies. You don't have to really become or think of becoming the Amazons on the very first days or the Walmarts on the very first day. You have to start small. And when you have to start small with those baby steps, I think it is very important to find the right uh, way of doing things and probably starting uh, with a lot of modesty, I would say. You can find a lot of those areas. I would say export is one area where people want to buy from India. You can look at very small things which have been exported in the past 25, 30, 40 years as well. But people have just, the new generation has just probably given it a new treatment. And the same products are now being exported or dealt with in a new fashion. And that's what I would suggest, where you can also look at as an option in terms of your career. I hope I've answered that.
Yes, sir. So I think Seema has raised her hand. Seema, what question do you have? Please go ahead.
A very good evening, one and all present here. So I have the question that, what are the potential strengths, one should have,
Mhm.
especially for the first generation entrepreneur to start a business
Uh,
and how to
Maybe.
face it, that is, having some challenge, how to overcome that.
Okay. Uh, I would start with a very basic thing, and I can probably would know myself a little better than others. So I can just say that the resilience is the ultimate key. There will be times when you'll not find the right results as much as it is with the life also. You start with a particular premise, at times you don't get that kind of a response. And why most of the people tend to leave the journey of startups and entrepreneurship is because they find that they don't have that power to have that, or they don't have that resilience to take it forward. If you have that resilience, sometimes it will be tough times, it will be a tough journey, but you will be able to find your way. Now it is about making a decision, whether I'm comfortable getting a salary from someone and that works well with me. There is no harm in also doing that because that's fine. But if you're talking about an entrepreneurship, please be guided very clearly that it will not be easy. So anyone who's looking for easy journey, entrepreneurship is not for that person. If you look at the very basic premise, it is all about taking risk. You have to have that risk appetite backed with the resilience. So now you're talking about ability of taking risk and then also having that resilience to back it up for a long, long time. So things will not happen by fluke. They will happen obviously by consistent and persistent efforts in the journey that you've just kickstarted for yourself. And the second part of your question, in case how can they fight this kind of a challenge? What can a new generation entrepreneur think of, addressing these kind of problems? uh, Very individualistic. Everyone would have a different setup, different infrastructure, different backup, different support structure. So it depends upon that. But as I said, if you believe in doing something, uh, nothing is impossible. And I don't say this because this has been written by many, many wizards in a lot of those self-help books as well. But even if I have to take inspiration from my journey, uh, at the end of the day, it was not about making 100 crore setup. I don't want to make 100 crore setup. I want to make a setup wherein I'm able to take care of the businesses that I take responsibility for. I'm happy doing a 5 crore or a 10 crore setup. I'm very happy with that because, and that's what I was talking about, the risk appetite as well. This works well with me. I should be happy with that. The comparisons are always audacious, and that's one thing that you shouldn't get into. A few of my customers told me, "Oh, I'm doing this, I'm doing that." Few of my contemporaries also talked about that. But then they have their own structure to work. So be very guided very clearly with your own support, with your own abilities. And you can always aspire to do big in your life. But as I said, take those baby steps to begin with, and life becomes a little easier over a period of time. So I hope that is how it has worked for me. Maybe it will work for few others who are listening to me today.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for guiding me. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
All right. So there's another question that's been posted up by Pawan Arya.
Okay.
Which sectors or industries like FMCG, pharma, e-commerce form the biggest part of your client base? And following up, what are the key skills and qualifications you look for hiring in your industry?
Okay, so this is an easy one for me to answer, to be very honest. I have built my business around e-commerce. That's how it happened because I also mentioned about Amazon services that we're able to handle for our publishers. A lot of those customers who are doing fulfillment by Amazon, they are serving Amazon in terms of the FBA services. They are selling it all across the globe, US, UK, Europe. And we were able to cater to that requirement. So e-commerce in over the last 20 years or so, I was fortunate to be associated with that setup in the very initial part of my journey, and that's how I took it forward. So e-commerce is something which has always been over the last 10 years doing very well, and you should try and find out solutions to make this work easier. And I'll give you a very quick example to relate to this. Uh, you want to send a small item of handicraft, let's say a keyring. A keyring costs you around 40, $50, okay, $100 maybe. And if you have to sell that to US or send that to US, please be aware that the cost of sending that half a kg item, less than half a kg item, but built in a half a kg segment, would be around 2,400 rupees. Now, the challenge of reaching out to your customers, selling a 100 rupee item with a cost of 2,500 rupees, the customer has to get that, or you have to make your margins as well. You'll be selling that item at 4,000 rupees. You're talking about 4,000. You're talking about probably looking at around $45, $50. Now, if you're talking that way, it becomes almost impossible for you to be competitive in the market. And that's where e-commerce always falter in terms of the logistic solutions. So if you can find solutions which can give you that kind of a edge in the market, where you're able to bundle out services, where you're able to give innovative solutions, I'm sure the market has enough to offer. And that is what I have found, and that is where I built my businesses also. So it is about
So you are on mute.
sorry. Am I audible now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm so sorry. So if we talk about, I don't know which part you missed out, but I was just saying that within e-commerce, you have to find solutions which serve the best needs of the customers and where you are able to offer a value addition to your customers. If you can do that, you will be doing very well for yourself. So the areas that I started doing my business in was invariably a lot of publishers. So that was the publishing industry. I have a lot of those customers from the ready-made, the RMG category, the ready-made garment category. We also had the customers who were doing heavy metal items across the globe. So invariably, I have ordered it or mentioned it in the order of preference. So 1, 2, 3 that way: publishing, RMG, and then heavy metal industry. So these were the three basic industries that we used to serve. I haven't had too much of pharma because again, pharma was a very specific industry where temperature controlled, refrigerated containers and services was required, which was not my forte at that point in time. Though we handle it on a query to query basis in today's time, but that was never my core area because I happen to dwell in the areas that I just mentioned.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you for answering the question, sir. So the next question is, what drives your passion for teaching management students?
Okay, I think if I have to quickly call myself a logistician by profession and an academician or a facilitator by passion, I would not be doing injustice to myself by doing that or by talking about that. Teaching and facilitating the journey of management students happened by an incident in 2020. I always wanted to speak. That was one thing that I thought I could have done well, but nothing beyond that. So I got an opportunity talking in one of the institutes as a guest lecturer, and from there on, the journey kickstarted. And I found in the first few interactions that I had with the students then that they are in a very critical phase, studying management, and they're curious, they're ambitious, they are not afraid to challenge the norms, and that makes the classroom where we interact with them a space for real dialogue. So what I try to do in the sessions, in the classes, in the classroom is to integrate my experiences, the real-time experiences, my cases from businesses, inviting the students to talk about, to get them into debates, to or simulate the negotiation skills, and talk about the reflective thinking of the students. So in many ways, the classroom of today happens to be a lab of tomorrow's leaders, if I may say so. So my journey with them has been very rewarding, and I can say that that if I can bring a change in one student's life, I would be very happy because we can shift a student's trajectory over a period of time. And if I can help someone make a good decision in life, why not? So it's about light to enlighten. So you have to do that. That's my journey with the students.
All right. There are certain few more questions posted by the students, sir. So the first question is by Hina.
Okay.
She says, sir, please can you guide what's the best way to build a strong network even without having many achievements yet?
Okay.
And following up, the question is by Pawan. How do digital platforms and social media help in branding and visibility for your transport services? And what are the key skills and qualifications you look for hiring someone in your industry?
I think I missed out on the last part of it. It was asked by someone else as well. So I'll try to answer that. The social media specifically has played a very critical part in terms of reaching out to your potential customers. And it's been very rewarding for many people whom I have observed and interacted with, known people. So that is one part I can say very clearly and very distinctly that, yeah, you have to use this tool wisely, discreetly to reach out and to have an outreach where customers are there in your fold. My skills specifically on the social media has been very lukewarm, so to speak. I have not been a great exponent of exploiting the social media for my work. I've been very recently there on LinkedIn. I never used to be on LinkedIn, and I had a very simple principle which I used to talk about, which you would have also heard me talking a little while earlier. My business is now centered in terms of the organic growth. I never thought about marketing the business, and I thought let's work with people whom we know, so that we can add a true value to the business. They understand the value that we bring on the table. So I was very fortunate that I was able to build my business organically. A lot of referrals that helped me. So marketing was never on my agenda at that point in time. Having said that, I am not averse to that, and I suggest very strongly that you can utilize the tools which are available in today's time, be it LinkedIn, be it other tools where you can talk about your businesses to your potential customers. So please utilize that. It will be very helpful. And the best part, it's not as expensive. It's not as difficult to reach out for these social media tools. So please utilize that in times to come. That really helps. Networking, the second part of it, once you're doing good and decent business in your area, in your domain, it is quite natural that people will start knowing you. So until, of course, you have a glaring need of reaching many people, but for your business, it doesn't make too much of a difference. So try to look at meaningful network, which can help you do well in your business, which can also help you reach out those people who are not your potential customers today, or not your customers today, but will be the potential customers tomorrow. So that is how you can probably look at networking in today's time. And if you talk about the last part of the question that you asked me, the skills, I think the skills, there's no rocket science in logistics services, to be very honest. It takes only due diligence or a diligent person wanting to learn, willing to learn, and putting in the best foot forward. So I don't need those people who are MBAs or who have done profound qualifications in a lot of areas that they've worked in. I think someone who is wanting to learn, someone who has the basic acumen of talking to the customers, someone who has got the basic understanding of doing the best for their customers. This is the basic skill that is required to be okay in this business, to be successful in the business over a period of time. So no fancy qualifications, but yes, if you do have those, it really helps because your orientation happens to be a little more refined. So I would tend to give my example only that I'm a very basic qualifications that I had, very basic to start with, only fortunate to be there with good people. So you are able to build a good network, maybe decent communication skills to speak to your customers, and the empathy with which you deal your customers. I think if you have those virtues with you, there's no stopping you in this business, for that matter, any business.
Ashi, may I take a question, please? This is Dhyan Chauhan.
Yes, sir.
Dr. Nitin, there
Yes,
is a
sir.
very unexploited area in India, which as a model is doing very well in rest of the world, especially first world countries.
Mm-hmm.
Academia and industry
Yeah.
work very closely.
Absolutely, sir.
In fact, concepts of academia have transformed the businesses.
Yeah.
You take blue ocean theory, or you take balanced scorecard, or numerous examples.
Absolutely.
They were all sponsored researchers. Now, is your organization open to enter into this domain in case you get the right intellectual capital to give your business problems as research work to academia, specifically DSPSR, which is assisted by eminent people across the universities? And the research is number driven, fact finding based, and gives you a very different insight than what you had been expecting from your experience that this will solve the problem.
Yeah.
But research says something else. Sorry. What are your thoughts on this process where DSPSR and your organization collaborate on your business problems and your business also transforms and the process of excellence also happens at faculty level, at student level, at consultant level, at various levels?
Yeah. I think if I just look at this, even the thought of this seems to be overwhelming to me at this point. Very, of course, humbled that you asked me this particular question. I think I have not grown to that level yet to find problems being solved by esteemed institutions like yours, to be very honest. I'm not at that level, honestly speaking. But the whole idea that you just mentioned here is something that I'm always open to. And I think this is actually the right way to do and handle a particular situation on hand, as I just mentioned. Because the researchers, the way you have been able to handle the work for your clients, the way you have been able to build a very strong academia background around your institution, this would be very helpful for any organization trying to find a way through. And sometimes, coming from the industry, you think that you know everything. And that's the biggest mistake that people tend to commit, which
Exactly.
which I think we all should be very cognizant of, and we should be always open to those solutions which come from unexpected quarters. Maybe we from the coming from the industry, we tend to think academia is a world which is a different world altogether. And likewise, I heard people saying that, oh, industry is something else. The classroom is totally different. But as you very rightly said, it's had to be a very right blend of the academia and the industry coming together to solve a bigger problem at hand. And this can only happen once we have the researchers and once we have that industry problems being floated to them in a way that they are able to find the best fit in terms of solution. So, sir, absolutely agreeing to your proposal of finding a solution to such situations with the industry. But I'll be very happy. I have such kind of problems. I'll surely like to come to you, sir.
No,
And
I can very easily cite. I mean,
yeah,
there are standard problems which I can sitting here say that uh, would you love those problems to be solved,
yeah.
provided you are open to it.
Of course, see, I think everyone who's wanting to develop their business, they would like to be open to suggestions. They will always like those, even the constructive criticism sometimes that we are not doing good enough, though we could have done better. So it's all about the potential that we have left uncovered. And I think I should be also open to this as much as anyone else would be wanting to take their business to the next level. So
Okay.
absolutely open, sir. And why not? I'm sure. This is just the beginning, and we'll have many more things to achieve and talk about in times to come. So I'm very happy to have a word with you and see how best we can be helped in this particular situation.
Sure.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Can you ask a question?
Yes, please.
It's a slightly difficult question, but you are a seasoned person. So you went through some financial distress. It was
Yes.
because of wrong selection of customers, or in hindsight, you can say that, okay, something could have been done to avoid that.
Uh, it's you rightly said, sir. It's a difficult question because in hindsight, a lot of things look, yeah, we could have done that, and probably we could have, or we would have avoided this. But in the thick of things, in the way businesses are, uh, even the best of the people can default sometimes, So if you talk about this particular instance that I spoke of, um, a lot of times the customers whom I had interaction, we do due diligence, we do the KYCs, we do the account opening properly, everything is done. The customers also were good, but at a point in time they decided that for them it was their interest which became which took control over our overall mutual interest. So they decided not to pay up in times. They decided
Oh,
not to make the payments. And then there are various ways and options available. We tried, we requested, we spoke to them, we tried to find a way out, tried to for an arbitration, we tried for a negotiation, didn't help. So at the end of the day, then we had to take legal recourse against those people.
fine.
So that is something which is there with every business, but no one knows what lies in future. So yeah, we do our bit, but as I said,
But
these are those learnings.
But I must say, for a first generation entrepreneur, having such sort of thinking and endurance is commendable, and hats off to you for that. You are a
Thank,
big motivation for the new entrepreneurs. And
thank.
another question, if you permit,
Ji, sir.
how far your second generation will be able to do better than what Mr. Nitin Dewan did himself?
Sir, it's a as I'm a very I've got my thoughts very clear on this, sir. My parents never forced me into business. They never tried to force their way through. When I took a decision of doing my business, they obviously were a little reserved about it because they've never done business in their life. But they told me, yeah, try to do your best as much as you can. As much as I also mentioned about my father giving me instructions that please make sure that your payments are well taken care of. So they never stopped me. They never discouraged me, and that's the same understanding that I have with my children. And also, as much as I advise all those people whom I get to interact with in the classrooms, that do what you best can do. It is about doing the things right, uh, and making sure that you go and approach any businesses, anything that you do in life with the right value system. You have to make sure that your ethics, the foundation for that particular business or that work that you're getting into should be right. And thereafter, a lot of things will not happen as per your whims and fancies. But the basic infrastructure in place, you will tend to hold yourself long enough and be sustainable in the work that you have thought to be doing for yourself. For that matter, my son, uh, he's a singer and he wants to do something in the domain of singing. So I'm okay with that. He's studying management, but he happens to be a singer, so he wants it that way. I'm okay with that. I said, I'm gonna support your journey. Go ahead and do whatever best you can do. Do it with the right set of values, and I'll be the first one to help him, encourage him to do best what he can do for himself. So if he wants to join our work, he's more than welcome. But if he doesn't, I'm happy to encourage him do what he wants to do.
Thanks a lot, Mr. Dewan. Really commendable, insightful thoughts. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. So my last question to you is now, how has your perception of success evolved over 26 years of your work experience? And what advice would you like to give to all those who are trying to embark on the same path of entrepreneurship?
Okay, so quickly, I know we are running short on time, but I like to share. This is very, very important. And that's a very good question that you asked, Ashi. Success at different stages of life means different things to people. I heard a gentleman talking about success. It's a progressive realization of your dreams. So I understood that in the very first instance, but that's a journey which takes time. So it's very important about finding an alignment between what I do and what I value. So it means creating values without compromising on ethics, influencing the lives positively, sleeping well at night. Success for me today is no longer a number. It's a feeling of contentment with effort and integrity. And it's also about doing meaningful work with the people I respect. It's not about influence, it's not about control anymore. However, when I say that, uh, I I I don't want these youngsters to think straight away like this, because they're in the time and phase when they are doing things for themselves. They also have to have the financial independence. So my only thing here is that don't chase numbers at any point in time. They will not help you as much, but make sure that you chase the right set of values. If you do that, you'll be able to sustain your living very well. So the three things that I totally believe in terms of what you can look forward to as an entrepreneur, as a person who's probably setting his foot in the journey now. Be authentic, be resilient, and be responsible. If you can look at these three traits, these three virtues, I think the sky is the limit for you. And ethics and ambitions are not mutually exclusive, by the way. So you can win the right way, and that long-term thinking always beats the shortcuts. So that's my advice to the people who are listening. They're wanting to be in this domain, and don't wait for the perfect timing, as we say. Time is right today. So you do things today, and things will fall in place.
All right. Thank you very much, sir. I extend our deepest gratitude to you for sharing your time, experiences, and valuable insights with everybody present on this call. It's very rare to come across a speaker who connects so effortlessly and leaves such a lasting impact. We are truly grateful about your presence and for making this session so enriching. Thank you once again, sir. We are absolutely honored. And on this note, I would like to hand it over back again to Mukta ma'am.
Thank you, Ashi. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ashi. You did very well. And
Thank
thank
you.
you so much, Dr. Nitin Dewan, sir.
Thank
It's
you,
a very
ma'am.
much engaging session. Now, I'd like to take this opportunity to invite you as a corporate mentor to our students, DSPSR students. So it's our pleasure that you will join as a corporate mentor.
I'll be very happy, ma'am. Whenever I get an opportunity, I'll surely like to share my experiences. I don't know how much I can add value to these people, but I'm sure whatever experience I have and whatever way I can help them in whatever capacity, I'll be very happy. I think this is what I've been doing for the last few years, and it gives me immense joy and satisfaction when I'm able to connect with the youth and probably try to instill the right set of values which can take their journey up ahead in a very, I would say, a satisfactory and a very efficient journey, as I say, in times to come. So, whatever capacity I get an opportunity, I'll be very happy to be of help.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
Thank
Now,
you.
I would like to request Ms. Ishita to kindly extend the vote of thanks. Ms. Ishita.
Thank you, ma'am. On behalf of all the participants and organizers, I extend my heartfelt gratitude to Dr. Nitin Dewan, sir, for taking the time out of his busy schedule to join such an enlightening and interactive online session with all of us today. Sir, your willingness to share your precious time and deep insights and intellectual wisdom has truly enriched us. Your session was not only informative, but also inspiring, and be grateful for this knowledge and perspective you shared so generously. Sir, especially the way you emphasize the importance of stepping out of comfort zone to achieve true success, was truly thought-provoking and deeply motivating. Your words reminded us that growth begins when we challenge our limits, and that message will stay with all of us. Thank you once again, sir, for enlightening us with your knowledge, experience, and wisdom.
Thank you.
I would also like to extend my sincere gratitude to our wonderful moderator who managed and conduct the session with such a grace and professionalism. The way you smoothly handled the interaction with our distinguished guest and kept the conversation flowing with thoughtful and curious questions made the session highly engaging and impactful. It truly brought out meaningful insights that will prove to be fruitful for our upcoming generation of the students, especially those aspiring to pursue their goal in entrepreneurship. Thank you for creating such an inspiring and learning rich environment for all of us. A heartfelt thank you to our respected President, sir, for your constant support and visionary leadership. Your dedication is consistently planning such meaningful and motivational sessions is truly commendable. It is because of your efforts that we as students and faculty and all the participants continue to gain such valuable exposure and inspiration. And thank you to all my wonderful participants for being in the interactive session and for listening very patiently. To our distinguished speaker, Dr. Nitin Dewan, sir. Thank you to once again.
Very
Thank you
much.
so much for having us here.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you for having us here. And well done, Ashik. Thank you very much for asking me some
Thank you
easy
so
questions. Thank you. You were
Yeah.
kind.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.